Hello, everyone. It's Suze here. It is Thursday morning Pacific time, and I'm just going to be here on YouTube live for a few minutes. See if anybody pops in with any questions. Otherwise, let me just kind of start out by giving a little brief introduction of myself. Um, I feel like I'm coming across really low energy right now. I don't know why. Just trying to be a little bit quiet. Anyways, I'm Suzanne, host of the Smart Start Content Club. And if you're new to me, then maybe it might be helpful to know a little bit about my background, where I'm coming from. Who's this gal who's saying she can help you, right? My background is in operations management and project and program management, but I've also been doing business communications, both internal and external communications, as well as content creation, copywriting, and information and knowledge solutions work for over 2 decades now. I know I look really young and fresh faced, but yeah, so I've been in the mix for a really long time, a lot of experience and a lot of education around this. So I do have some expertise. I do know what I'm talking about. And I've also worked in all different kinds of organizations. So from tiny little family businesses to large multinational corporations, and everything from investment banking to international development, and literally everything in between. So I have exposure and the experience working with all kinds of companies with all kinds of goals, all kinds of structures, both here in the US and abroad. So um, that really serves you well, and helps me serve you well, because there's a good chance that I have some experience with whatever it is that you're doing in some direct or indirect way, right? And that helps me facilitate your journey as a business communicator, as a content uh, creator, to then be able to do those functions, do those activities in a much better way. And let's be really clear. As people, as businesses, as business owners, we are selling, we are marketing, and we are communicating our butts off all day, every day. I don't care if you say, well, hey, I'm an attorney, I'm a widget maker, I'm you know, um, a nanny. It doesn't matter. We are all selling, marketing, and communicating all day, every day. And so why not make sure that you do it better? Why not make sure that you're doing it in a way that is more aligned with whatever your goals are? Why not do it in a way that resonates with whoever your audience is better? And why not do it in a way that is just easier? You know, that's the whole idea of creating better content in a simpler, easier, faster way. You're learning to be, or should be striving to be, more effective and more efficient. So that's kind of the overarching goal of Smart Start Content Club. That's what I'm aspiring to do when I engage with my audience, or work with clients, that sort of thing, on business communications and content related endeavors. And in my experience, what I have heard probably the most often from people when they're talking about business communications, or which I'll sometimes refer to as Bizcom, especially like when I'm writing stuff down. So you might see that word. That's what just all it means is business communications, which is just when you're communicating within or for or about your business. That's all it is. So it might seem too simple, too obvious to be that simple, but that's what it is. Anyways, the two challenges I feel like I hear most often, and I definitely hear these really often, and they're constantly repeated, is that people have trouble being consistent and with their content. And the other challenge that people really have is uh, um, knowing what to say or how to say it. So I really want to just kind of look at those two pain points and kind of address them head on. So as far as it goes with consistency, I really believe that if you have better systems in place, and if you know that you're creating content that's going to really slap, that the consistency problem starts falling away. You're reducing the friction in your systems and processes. You're reducing the friction in the like your scheduling and your bandwidth to accomplish it, and you're reducing your friction in that kind of mindset attitude side of things that kind of holds you back. Because when you have better systems, you will be able to save time, energy. It all equals money. You'll just be able to create better content in less time with using less resources in general. So maybe that's time, maybe that's using fewer apps in your tech system, your tech stack. It can mean different things for different businesses. But when it's easier to do your content, to create it, to share it, it becomes a lot easier to be consistent with it because it's less overwhelming, it's less draining, it doesn't tax your system, or drain your schedule allotment, and none of those things. It just makes it a lot easier. Hi, I keep seeing somebody I'm joining, and if you have a question, just pop it into the chat and I will answer it. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep going for the moment. So the second challenge I see people struggling with, that they're telling me, this is not me just inventing it or pulling it out of thin air, this is what people tell me all the time, is they have trouble knowing what to say or how to say it. And this is not a problem that I can relate to because I'm really an ideas person. I am a visionary type person. I have too many ideas, and maybe that's the other side of the coin, right? You have too many ideas, so you don't know what to write about, or you don't have enough ideas, so you don't know what to write about. Maybe it's just the other side of the same coin. But what people tell me is that coming up with ideas or coming up with good ideas is really a challenge for them. They don't know what topics to write about. They don't know what angle to come at. They don't know what format to present them in. They don't know where to present them. They don't know how, when to share things, what makes sense at a given point. And so one of the main things that I am going to advocate, which is a through line. And this is something that's really central to Smart Start Content Club, is creating that through line from whatever your business goals are, to your promotional plans, to your communications and content. And what this does is this literally links up. It creates that tie, that through line from your what, how, and when you're going to communicate to that why. And that why is just so all important, because all of your communications should be supporting your promotions and campaigns, and all your promotions and campaigns should be supporting whatever your business goals, activities, objectives are, right? So when you're doing that, again, that also supports being more consistent too, because you're not being wasteful. You're being very intentional. And when you're intentional, it's a lot easier to focus, and it's a lot easier to start seeing the results of your efforts, because the goal, the intention is that when you're being the intentional, when you're creating your content as part of this through line, that it will resonate more with your audience. There will be more alignment. Your audience will then start engaging more, and doing whatever it is that you want them to do, whether that's to engage more in your emails by clicking or responding, whether that's having them follow you on social, whether that's getting them to buy, whatever that desired action is that you're trying to get people to do, because as a result of your content or your communications, this will help, right? Being really intentional about having that line go from your communications back to your promotions, back to your goals. Okay, so how do I accomplish this? How do I help you learn to accomplish this? Well, there's a lot of different ways. I mentioned already that I'm a process person. I'm an operations kind of person. So my approach is really to create systems and frameworks. I think they're great for people to use as a jumping off point. And then you kind of just color in the lines yourself. Hi, welcome. I see somebody just joined. If you have a question, just pop it into the chat. Yeah, so how do I help you do this? I help you do this through the Smart Start Content Club. And with the Smart Start Content Club, it is basically a membership. You join, the first initial joining period is for 3 months, and that's regardless of which plan you're on. You're joining for 3 months, and you instantly get access to 3 months worth of strategic content plans. And those are purpose-based plans. So what that means is you're going to get a strategy based on a specific desired outcome. So let's say your desired outcome is you want to nurture your audience, or you want to sell an existing offer. That's your goal. That's your purpose of your promotion or your campaign. And so the plan takes you through how much of what kind of content to create to support that goal, that for example, relaunching a new product that you relaunching an existing product that you have, right? So that's what that document does. That's the main juicy bit of the membership. But surrounding that, and so you get one of those each month, and there's 2 that live in the membership all the time. So you're always going to have access to 3 months of content. Hi, welcome to the Q&A. If you have a question, just pop it in the chat. We're talking about Smart Start Content Club and about content strategy and planning, and all things business communications. So so the strategic content plan is kind of that core piece of the membership, but surrounding that, there's also a bunch of other materials, but not so much that you're going to get overwhelmed. These are all materials that are designed to support everything in that. From that, you've got your system set up, like you've got your email system set up, you've got your website set up, to the point where you're actually creating content. You're sitting down to, write a newsletter, create copy for your web page, post on social, whatever. So Smart Start Content Club is everything in this space between. So all the resources in the membership are designed to help you get from here to here, or here to here. Meaning there are resources in there to help you with coming up with content ideas. There's resources in there to help you figure out scheduling your content. There's resources in there to help you figure out how to organize your content. And just so you really have a good solid foundation, and you're establishing a point from which you can start moving forward and having visibility into the future. So my dream would be for everybody to have a rolling 3 to 6 month content calendar that takes into account what their business goals are, what their promotions are, and again, that through line. Not everybody's there yet, and that's totally fine. And the Smart Start Content Club aims to get you there, to put you in the right frame of mind and give you the tools so that you're equipped to do that. So yeah, and then new. So the membership opened in end of April 2025. So we're now in end of July. It's been exactly 3 months, and I've added some new things for this time around, which is really exciting because I don't want people to think, oh, Smart Start Content Club is just about the content. I know it's a little bit meta and weird, but um, the Smart Start Content Club is not really intended to be just about the content, just about that strategic content plan. I want it to be ultimately an experience for you guys. I want it to be a place, a go-to place. I want it to be your one-stop shop, one-stop place to go for that content strategy and planning, support, community, connection. And so what I've done this time around is I've added in 2 new membership tiers that add in additional experience. So we're talking about events. There's going to be a monthly Q&A office hours kind of thing going on. It's asynchronous. It's not like anything you need to put on your calendar. And also a quarterly content and strategy and planning mini retreat, which will be about a 2.5-hour event where we will come together each quarter and do the actual work together of the goals to the promotions to the communications and content. And so you'll come away from the event with the content calendar, the content schedule, your marching orders for the next at least 3 months. So that's really cool. That's something new and exciting. And then for all the membership tiers, I've added in monthly co-working. It might become more than once a month. We'll see how people like it. But welcome. If you have a question, just pop it in the chat and I can answer it for you. We're talking about Smart Start Content Club, business communications, content strategy and planning, all that juicy stuff. All right. So so that's how the membership has changed this time around. I think these are really exciting upgrades to the membership as well. And then speaking of upgrades, I am also still revising, because this is a new membership still. I am still revising and refining the members portal. So I think every time I go in there and tinker with it, it's getting it to be a little bit more streamlined and easier to use. And similarly, I have a pretty robust roadmap for the features and things to include in the membership. And that's just really, it's rolling out over time. And a lot of it just is a lot of it's based on what I would like to do, but I'm also waiting before I roll everything out to see what members are really looking for, what they're craving. So the other cool thing about joining right now, in addition to kind of these new membership tiers and being able to lock in founder pricing, is also the ability to have a greater say in what the membership looks like. What are you going to get? Which I think is really cool, especially for a membership that is really so affordably priced for what you're getting. That said, the price will be going up, but it's such a great opportunity because you have an opportunity to really grab my ear and say, hey, Suze, like this thing isn't working for me, or I'd really love to, this is great, but what if we also had this? And yeah, we can make it so that the membership is even more impactful and valuable for you. So you get more out of it and you feel just so good about yourself and what you're accomplishing based on leveraging the tools that you're getting inside the membership. Now, the other cool thing I like about this membership that I haven't seen it, I don't know if I've seen it anywhere else really, is that I've got it set up so that if you are the kind of person who likes to just like get in, get out, get on with your day, you can do that. There's a grab and go version of the strategic content plan, which it's your marching orders. You just take it, you plug it in, you layer it into your overall content schedule, and you go. You're off and running. But if you're the kind of person who's like, yeah, I really want to understand a little bit more, I want to develop my knowledge, my awareness, my knowledge, my skills. I know I'm not going to be a professional marketer or whatever, but I still want to understand a little bit more deeply. Then you can look at the more detailed version of the strategic content plan, which goes into a whole explanation of why the strategy is the way it is, why it's broken out, why the different kinds of content um, are weighted the way they are. And it gives you more options in terms of like the volume of content that you might want to plan on sharing or creating. So that's the part that gives you a little bit more flexibility, but it also gives you a more in-depth view of why you're doing what you're doing. So if you really want to learn and grow. So again, the membership really accommodates both types of people. And maybe you're one, maybe you're the other, maybe you're both, maybe you kind of based on what's going on in your life and business, you switch from one to the other. That's totally cool. We all have different seasons of life and business, right? So yeah, the membership is always open. It's an evergreen open. You can join anytime. You can switch plans anytime. After whatever your subscription period is, you can switch. But the reason I like to do these live openings, live launches, is because it gives me an opportunity to really connect with you a little bit more, kind of intensely, but it also gives me an opportunity to provide you with other bonuses and opportunities. So, this time around, if you are joining before tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time, then you will get some bonus joining gifts. And so I think that's a really fun way to go about it and provide extra value for you, and bring you into my little fold, so you can see who I am, how I like to convey information and share knowledge, how I like to try to serve you and help yourself, help you move the needle in your business. So, I haven't really had any questions. People have been popping in and out of the call today, but haven't had any questions come through. So I think I'm going to kind of leave it there. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me really anytime. So the link to the information page about Smart Start Content Club is down below in the description, and you can sign up there. And I also have a link down there to contact me if you have questions. So feel free to reach out anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to hop on a call. If you want like a little tour of the back end of the members portal, that's totally cool too. I am happy to do that for you. So I hope to see you on the inside. It's a really great deal, and it can really help you just lighten your load, which I think really every business, every small business owner deserves that. Speaking from the personal experience. Anyways, I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're catching the replay, thank you so much for taking the time to do that as well. And have a great day. Thanks. Bye.